I don't know, man. What will I even say? She looks busy. I'll talk to the next girl. I could do it if I really wanted to. Just do it. Just fucking do it. Stop being a pussy. Okay. I'm going in. Fuck.
I saw you over here. I mean, from there, I saw you here, and I just want to say hi.
Okay.
So, do you come here often?
Look, you seem like a nice guy and everything, but I'm a little busy right now.
Okay, thanks.
I'm helping my husband shoot a video on the 3 biggest insecurities that every man has and how to conquer them.
This might seem weird, but for most of my adult life, I didn't really feel like a man. I would see other men around me who seemed like real men, but I still felt stuck somewhere in between boy and man. About 10 years ago, I started on a journey to discover why, and in this process, completely transformed myself physically, mentally, and sexually. All because I discovered something fundamental to all men, something that is deeply rooted in all of us that holds us back from really stepping into our manhood unless we conquer.
There are 3 main insecurities or rites of passage that all men face. After personally training and coaching hundreds of men, I've discovered that unless a man faces each one of these demons and conquers them completely, he will never truly feel like a real man.
Let's go on a journey to explore these insecurities in detail, and I'll show you the key to conquering each one. I have to warn you though, the path will not be easy. Before my transformation, there was one thing that scared me more than death: talking to a beautiful woman. I remember back in my sophomore year in high school, having a crush on this girl, Amy. Every day I would sit in my AP US history class, trying to get up the nerve to say something to her. I'd see her walk by in the hall, and I'd quickly look the other way. Finally, I got up the courage to write her a love letter. I wrote a whole 2-page letter to her, and I can't even remember what it said, because what the heck could you actually say to someone for 2 pages whom you've never even talked to? I do remember at the end of the letter saying, "Will you light up my life?" and in parentheses, "Will you go out with me?" At the end of class one day, I walked up to her and I handed her the folded up letter, and then I got out of there as fast as I could. For days, she said nothing, and I began to wonder if I had just imagined I had given her the letter. Then, finally, one day, after class, she said to me, "John, could I talk to you for a second?" My heart leapt with excitement. She turned to me, handed me the letter back, and said, "This was a really nice letter you wrote me, thank you, but I don't think it would work." I couldn't have even made a sound if I had tried. I just stood there for a moment, looked at her, and then walked away. I didn't have the guts to actually talk to her. Instead, I tried to buffer myself from rejection and actually facing my fears by writing a letter. 90% of men could not go up to a woman that they don't know, who they find attractive, and talk to her. Online dating and porn have made it so most men do not actually have to approach and talk to a woman in real life. Many men are afraid to talk to a woman they don't know for the fear of being called creepy. They care too much about what other people think. Now, one day, I had enough of this fear, and I decided I was going to conquer it. I was running on the beach, and just at the end of my run, I ran past 3 girls sitting in the sand. I wanted to go up to them, but I made up all kinds of excuses as to why I didn't need to do it. I tried to convince myself that I just didn't feel like it right now, but I could if I really wanted to. I told myself that I didn't have time to go and do it because I needed to get back home. Finally, I cut the bullshit and I leveled with myself. I said, "John, if you're this confident guy you say you are, then prove it. Even if you don't want to do it, just show me to prove you aren't full of bullshit." I hesitated again for a minute, but I knew this would be a defining moment in my life. So I walked up to the girls and I said something ridiculous like, "I thought I recognized you from somewhere." It was lame, all right, but I had done it. I had taken a huge first step to conquer this fear. I was still scared, but I forced myself to keep on talking to women until it became a habit in my life. The key to conquering this insecurity is to go out and do what you fear the most. Talk to women you don't know. The best hack I can give you for doing this is to change your goal from getting a phone number or having a woman like you to just putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation and enduring it. If you go up and talk to her, you win. That's it. Even if she rejects you, you'll feel like the man because you'll have done something 90% of men do not have the balls to do. Once you learn to conquer this insecurity, you'll always have access to women, and as a bonus, other men will see you as the man because you're able to do what they only wish they could do.
Most men live lives of quiet desperation. It's one of my favorite quotes ever because it's true. And I've been that guy. You're just in this world where you just can't wait to just run away.
I don't know about you, but when I used to work in the corporate world, I often would feel like they were just giving me a paycheck. Yes, I know I technically earned it, I know I worked for it, but I still couldn't shake this feeling that it felt a lot like a handout. I would always wonder if I could actually make it on my own if I didn't have someone else to give me a job. Could I make my own money? Could I build my own business? Or did I just have to rely on other men who did and work for them to make them richer? Most men today are not truly self-made. The reason is simple. We don't have to be. At least in America, there's no chance you'll starve. We have plenty of welfare and stimulus checks to make sure even poor people have iPhones. The current education system has brainwashed us into being good workers and has taught us we are not the self-made man, we work for him. Get good grades, get into a good college, get a 9-to-5 job, pay your taxes, put money into your 401k, and maybe someday you can retire. I know the system well because I was brainwashed into it until I broke free.
It started off with me rejecting the investments they told me to invest in. I took the money out of my 401k, paid the taxes and penalties, and moved it into real estate. Every year, I saved all the money I could and used it for a 10% down payment to buy another property. I started a small programming blog called Simple Programmer and started writing every day. Eventually, the blog grew and I started a business around it, selling a product to help programmers learn how to market themselves and build their own personal brands. I also started authoring my own courses for a developer training company that paid me royalties as an author instead of a paycheck. On February 14th, 2013, I quit my full-time job at 33 years old and officially became a self-made man. I was financially free and would never have to work for anyone else ever again. Now, there are two keys to exiting the rat race. First, you need to learn to build your own business. Try making your first dollar on the internet and your whole life will change. Second, you need to put your money into assets you control, like real estate, instead of the investments created by the system designed to keep you enslaved. I don't have time in this video to go over all the details of exactly how to do this, but I've developed a step-by-step formula for financial freedom called The Well That Never Runs Dry. Click the link in the description to get an exact roadmap for financial freedom, no matter where you are in life right now. Have you ever watched a war movie like Braveheart or Saving Private Ryan? Have you ever wondered to yourself if you yourself would actually be able to go into battle or if you chicken out and run away? Don't worry, most men have. Whenever I would watch movies like that, I would wonder if I were alive during those times, would I actually have the guts to actually brandish my sword and go out in the battlefield and face death and violence? Don't feel alone if you've wondered the same thing. You should. There's a reason why you and I ask ourselves questions like these. It's because we know deep down that a real man does not let the fear of violence control him and will step into the ring when necessary. In the modern lives we live, we're far too sheltered. We don't have to face our own mortality because it's so easy for us. It's not a battle of survival. We're not trained to be warriors like our ancestors were. Today, we are keyboard warriors who only see battle in Fortnite. We run our mouths saying things without consequences on the internet. We never face violence and we aren't prepared to handle it, so we fear it. Most of us have never even been punched in the face. I used to be afraid of conflict. I wasn't sure whether or not I'd run away from confrontation if the situation presented itself until I started doing Muay Thai.
If you're incapable of violence, not being violent isn't a virtue. People who teach martial arts know this full well, right? If you learn a martial art, you learn to be dangerous because it's the alternative to being weak. And weak is not good.
Even though Muay Thai is simulated violence, I got punched in the face and kicked enough to overcome my fear of actually being hit. And more importantly, I know that I could hold my own if I came down to it. Every man should learn how to fight. Train MMA, boxing, kickboxing, or any form of combat where you can actually get into the ring and really spar with another man who is trying to hurt you. Once you know you can fight, you'll walk around much more confidently and it will show. Just watch how UFC fighters walk into a room. You can tell they're not afraid of violence or confrontation just by the way that they carry themselves. As an added bonus, being in combat situations, real or simulated, increases your testosterone levels naturally. If you conquer all of these insecurities, you'll gain unstoppable confidence, which will make you successful in all areas of your life. But most importantly, will give you the inner sense of self-efficacy that all men desire. The sad fact is that in the soft world we live in today, where we don't have to fight for our survival, we get government handouts and unlimited porn instead of real women, most boys never grow up to become men. If this video made an impact on you, show your appreciation by giving a like. And if you want some help getting the financial part of your life taken care of, make sure you click the link in the description below.